Hello!
Hello, everybody!
So Marco is not here today. What happened to Marco?
I think that, should we confess?
Yeah,
We killed him.
yeah, Marco is gone. We seized power.
Yes, we were jealous of his live at tea time. So, yes, that's the plan for today. We killed him and, yes, you will have us today.
Luckily for you, the new management will have a lot of good news for you.
Yes, a lot, like a full sheet of like topics and schedule and a lot of information. So
Yeah.
should we start? Because I think that
Yeah, well,
working.
I think there's a lot of Broken Arrow fans with us today.
Hello,
Yeah.
Broken Arrow fans.
But before we get to that, we have a couple of news that we want to cover. So yeah, let's get to it. Very important. So let's get to it. All right. So the first news is Tau, the DLC, the upcoming DLC for Warhammer 40k Battle Sector. As you know, the Tau are coming to Battle Sector. Who are the Tau? Here they are. Xeno race.
So
they
cool.
fight for the greater good, and they come with 14 brand new amazing units to Battle Sector. The new faction will be available on all game modes, so skirmish, multiplayer, planetary supremacy, and demonic incursion. And I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of players, lead the Tau to victory. It's really an amazing faction.
Are you a fan of Tau?
To be honest, I prefer Chaos Space Marines more, but yeah, I don't mind them.
I don't know.
Paolo is a big fan of Tau.
Tau?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yes, it's like very short time to the release of this very cool faction, I have to say. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing screenshot, by the way.
Yes, don't lose it. So next topic is about a very cool game, which I love. It is Headquarters World War II. Turn-based strategy game, and the cool news is that it will be at the next Steam Next Fest, starting on the 5th, so Monday the 5th. So you will have basically a playable demo there. So just go on the product page and download the demo. You will have the chance to play the first tutorial mission and the first campaign from the first mission, from the German campaign. And at release, the full game will have 3 campaigns and a lot of operations. I don't remember how many, like 9, I think, missions. So you don't want to miss this. We would love to receive a lot of feedback and comment on Headquarters World War II. We would love to hear what you think about it. We are really looking forward to see what you think about that, guys. Just one last thing, very important communication. The game will be released in Q2 2024, so it's not that far.
In the meantime, people keep asking about Broken Arrow in chat. No worries, we'll get there in just a couple of minutes, guys. Just bear with us. Yeah. So just some quick communication about some changes that we are doing on the Slit store under this new management, because of course we want to reward your loyalty to us specifically as Alberto and Giulia as the new management of the tea time.
Woo!
Just joking.
So you will have Marco.
Before someone decides to fire me or something. So we are updating the Slit store as we had previously announced. So the points are going to be reset. There are some slight adjustments to game prices on the Slit store, which hopefully will be well received. We will keep you updated on further changes on the Slit store, but Marco, if he's back, he will tell you more about it.
If he's back, yes.
But yeah, in the meantime, today, if you follow this live stream, you will receive 100 Slit coins every 10 minutes of watching.
So keep watching. Another important news, this time on the Matrix games, we have just released, or it's going to be released in a couple of minutes, the new Command Showcase Icebreakers. which will take you to the Arctic Circle, of course, and put you in command of a combined American-Canadian naval task force. So yes, you will conduct a freedom of navigation exercise in the Arctic Ocean, transiting the seas north of Siberia as climate change opens up a new northern passage. So yes, you don't want to miss that. Just again, you will have the chance to try this in very few moments. That is very, very cool, as in the chat they are writing. Yes, it is.
Speaking of Command, there is a big sale on Command going on. So the base game is 55% off until the 5th, so next Monday. Sorry for that. And the DSC range is also discounted, so it's a great opportunity to get in the franchise if you haven't. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to the reason why a lot of people are here.
Yes,
so Broken Arrow. Yes.
Woo!
All right, so as you guys know, yesterday we launched the open beta. It's been overwhelming under every aspect. Actually, you know, there's a funny bit of audio that we want to share with you. Basically, yesterday, while we were doing the countdown to opening the beta, the voice chat in the official Discord was going crazy. Yes. So we want to share that with you.
This is the reaction of happiness,
yes.
and enthusiasm.
So can we hear it?
Yes, let's try.
All right.
Where's the download button? Where's the download button?
Where's the button?
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!
So the reaction was like
overwhelming. Overwhelming for everyone, including the servers.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It was wild. Yes.
It was wild. Yeah, it was. All right. So essentially, we've received over 60. I believe now there are 65K applications and downloads in a few hours. And as you know, the servers are struggling a bit right now. You know, we're looking into it. We are looking for a solution as soon as possible. We are aware that, you know, a lot of people are willing to play as fast as they can. But remember that, you know, this open beta is exactly what we need to ensure that the game doesn't have these kind of issues at launch. We'd rather face these problems now than when we launch the game. I don't want to mention any other games, but other companies, they've done these problems at launch. We don't want to do that. We want to ensure that, you know, when the game launches, everyone has a smooth experience, no matter where they are, no matter where they're from, no matter where they're playing. So yeah.
It's a positive news,
yes,
actually. Yeah.
Yes, we were almost expecting this. So we want to thank all that are, you know, showing their patience towards us finding a solution. On the upside, right now, the game is playable in the sense that if you have patience and if you're also a bit lucky, the game server is running at some capacity. There are thousands of people playing at every part of the day. So, you know, the opportunity to play is here for the moment. Yeah. Yeah, essentially today we're going to connect with Felix Aber. Many of you know Felix is the creative director at WWII. So can we get a connection to Felix?
I think that he's already here.
Yes.
Here he is.
Hello, Felix. Can you hear us?
Hello. Yes,
Hi.
can you hear me? Yeah, I hear
Yes.
myself. Okay.
Awesome. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, it's been a rough night, to be honest.
Did you get any sleep?
A bit, yeah. Well, it's pretty much fixed now, so we're good. So yeah, for all the people asking when we're server fixed, they're actually online now. We have 5,000 people connected simultaneously, 3,500 in battle. We are not totally out of the mud yet, but it's pretty much it. It's good. So
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm
I mean,
starting to breathe. I'm starting to breathe right now, actually.
we'll get there. I mean, as I was saying, so many thousands of players are playing despite the server issues. There are so much content popping up on YouTube and Twitch, so many reviews and previews on Steam, on discussion forums and whatnot. People are expressing their opinions about the game, and even on the public, on the official Discord of Broken Arrow, you can always find people streaming the game in the voice channels with other players and coordinating there. So there's a lot of activity right now, and the team, the Steve Balalike has been amazing, in reacting to feedback, finding solutions as the servers were struggling a bit yesterday. They went down for a time, but a fix was very quickly deployed. And I only have positive things to say, both about how you guys are working and about the game itself. And I believe the community is very, they acknowledge that it's a beta, and that this sort of stuff is to be expected, and it takes a bit of time to get there, but we're getting there.
Well, yeah, I totally understand. Well, it's when you have a lot of strong expectation, it can be very frustrating when things don't work as expected. I'm the first concern in this matter, and I understand people's reaction, but yeah, we're done with that. Normally, it should be good. Let's move on. Let's move on to the actual gameplay. Let's enjoy the game now.
Sure. Yeah, just one last thing. Of course, we'll keep you posted on any development on the servers. But yeah, let's move on to the gameplay and the beta and what people can expect from it. So essentially, Felix, what does this beta contain, and why did you decide to include this sort of content in this beta?
So this is a pure multiplayer beta, and we have excluded any solo content. In fact, in order to maximize the number of people who would be using the servers, joining the servers as a stress test, because well, if we offer too much solo content, it's not really on our objective here. So with pure multiplayer content, we really focus absolutely on what we need in terms of information, in terms of testing. So what we have in the beta is 5 versus 5 multiplayer with the support of an automatic matchmaker. So and you can play on six maps. So this is a limited content. This is way less than what the game will contain at release. At release, we will have something like, I don't know, 15, 20 maps, maybe something like that. And also, by the way, you only have access to 2 deck specialization per side. So 2 for the US, 2 for Russia, while which makes only 1 possible combination. And in the final game, you will get 5. Actually, we have increased the number of specialization to 5 for each side, which makes 10 possible combination per side. So 10 archetypes of decks per side. And so, as I said, yeah, something.
The chat is, of course, asking what is the 5th specialization for the US and Russia, but I don't think we want to.
Do they even know the full list of the first specialization?
We do.
No,
they do.
No, they don't have all of them. I know. Yeah. So yeah, basically that was all. This is also something we did after this was a work in progress stuff that we were doing, and we've accelerated this after the closed beta. It was. The feedback we got from the closed beta helped us to take this decision in the end. So the game will release with 10 specializations, 5 for each side. Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know, like, you need to combine 2 of them to create your deck, which makes 10 combination when you have 5 options.
Felix, what can you tell us about how the available specializations in the beta work? Would you recommend a couple of tactics or ways that they can be played effectively?
Well, first thing is, since everybody would be playing the same specializations, we've modified them a bit compared to their final to what they would be in the final game. We brought some elements here and there to offer a bit more options for the players to avoid missing totally something. So, for instance, one example is that the Patriot long-range anti-air system normally isn't associated with the armored deck, but since removing it totally would mean no player could have any long-range anti-air system in the game, we decided to associate it temporarily with the armored deck for the beta. So generally, also we try to propose something that is as mirrored as possible for the beta, because we have VDV, so airborne Russian airborne troops, and guard tank deck for Russia, and we have USMC and armored for the US. This means that in fact it's a deck composed of both something heavy like the heavy tanks on both sides and something lighter to support it in addition to it. So we made the decision to have something that is as mirrored as possible, because nothing is really mirrored in the game normally. So we took what was as mirrored as possible, and we modified a bit some units here and there in the specialization to help the teams to have a bit of all the capabilities in their deck for the beta. Otherwise, it would have been frustrating to have one side playing only with heavy tanks and being bombed all the time by another side that has very little tanks and only planes to defend itself. So we went for mirror balance as much as possible for the balance for the beta to help with that.
Okay, makes perfect sense. Actually, the chat was asking, well, it's not a mystery that eventually after the game is launched, we're going to add more factions to the game. It's something that we've stated before, and it's but they're wondering if after more factions are added in the game, if there will be an opportunity or an option for having mixed teams. Let's say, I don't know, France plus USA or anything like that.
Well, I'd say it's a problem for later first, because we have two factions at the moment, so the problem is not here yet. Once we have the plan to add more factions, more nations to the game, and it's something that will evolve. In fact, depending on the number and the type of factions that we add, this is something we will change. We will adapt to the content. In fact, the rule of combinations of factions and nations will adapt to the faction available. One thing that works now, so with two factions, might be improved when we have three, and what we have when we have three might also be modified again when we have 4, 5, stuff like that. So we'll let it evolve over time depending on what we have.
All right, makes sense. I'm Not a Bot is actually asking about mod support, and I believe just wanted to put it out here. Quite a few people have been asking about a possible scenario editor. So I just wanted to ask you about that, and we can set expectations right.
Mm-hmm. So first thing the game will contain a scenario editor. This scenario editor, it's not modding, it's like fully supported. You don't need to know how to code, you don't need anything. There is an interface, it's actually inside of the game. So you go you don't leave the game to go in the editor, you are still in the game. you create your mission and you can instantly play it in the game without having to relaunch the game or export anything. It's full support. Then modding, it's more stuff that it's like a half support in the sense that we let people do things, but they will have more work to do, like it's importing your own 3D models or stuff like that. It's not, we don't hold the people by the hand to do that. We also don't want to prevent them. It's not our intention to prevent people from modding the game. However, there is one thing to take into consideration, is that we also want, well, to protect our DLCs. For instance, if we make a DLC for the game, we don't want people to be able to basically crack the DLC and get all the content from the DLC through the modding tools. So it's a balance between offering a maximum of possibilities for modding, and making sure that the paid content of the game is protected. And when I mean protecting is not something like, okay, you make a mode with friends in the game and I prevent you from doing that because I want to sell a friends DLC later. It's not that kind of protection. It's really, if we have made friends in the game, we don't want you to crack it open and make it free by giving the content that we have worked on to people for free in your mode. That's the only thing we want to prevent. For the rest, modding is always a positive stuff.
Oh yeah, it's something that the community really wants and would appreciate. So great news, I think. We had a question about how the overall balancing process looks like from your side, from Specializations side, in the sense that I've seen that you guys are collecting a lot of feedback and a lot of data and information about matches that are being played. So how do you process that kind of information, and how does that factor into how you balance the game?
Well, first thing to take into consideration with the balance is that at the moment you only have 2 specializations out of 5. So everybody is playing the same thing. And in the final game, it's still a possibility, but it's only one of the possibility out of many. So the overall balance of the game now, it's one situation. You see, like we receive feedback like, for instance, I don't know, tanks are too powerful. Yes, but on the other hand, it's like 10 players all playing an armored deck. So if playing with tank wasn't powerful in this kind of situation where everybody has put armored in his deck, that would be wrong. So we are careful with this feedback. There are global feedbacks that are really interesting to take about the pace of the game and stuff like that. And there are, I would say, more precise individual feedbacks that we get that have to be taken with a big grain of salt, because it's one behavior in one situation and it might not be representative of the more global behavior that you would have with all the options available. A simple example, if making a big blob of tank and rushing in the middle of the enemy lines is very powerful at the moment, take into consideration that if you have a specialization bringing nuclear bombs with it, these kind of blobbing tactics would suddenly be much less effective. So if you take the broader context into account, things can change a lot. And also, of course, we have monitoring of statistics and stuff like that, but I don't trust statistics too much. Like, it's statistics give you an insight of something that might go right or wrong, but it's a dangerous stuff to trust only statistics. It's always important to get the opinion of the players themselves, because it's not because someone plays, well, it's not because the statistics says that everybody's fine, everything's fine, that it's necessarily a good thing. So statistics, but also human input, very important here for the balance.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Someone from the chat is asking, can we get a clip of what a nuclear bomb looks like? Bet it's cool. I don't think we have one at hand, but if I remember correctly,
well,
and
there
you
is
can correct
one.
me if I'm
There
wrong,
is
there was
one
one in the trailer, right? In
Yep.
one of the latest trailers that was published at the end.
One
of
in
it.
the trailer, but note it's still a work in progress version of the FX. It's the biggest explosion we do, so yeah, we'll make another pass to improve it as well. Also add the effects around like trees being destroyed, stuff like that that are not done yet, and we are in the process of adding. So it's a beta. The game is not finished. Like we still have work to do.
Yeah. But yeah, when we get to the final look of the nukes, no worries, guys. We show it to you.
Yeah, we will not hesitate. Don't worry.
Yeah. I see, Felix, you're very itchy on pushing the big red button.
Well, we all played World in Conflict, and the first thing you want to do when you jump in a World in Conflict map is like get these 30 points of extra bonus points and drop a big nuke on the map. The big difference with Broken Arrow is that since you control the bomber and the bomber can be shut down, it's a dangerous thing to do. Like you might lose the bomber before the bomb is dropped, and you've suddenly lost 1,000 points for nothing. So a bit more dangerous than World in Conflict.
All right. About the 6 playable maps, can you tell us anything about them? What was your reasoning when it came to shipping them?
Yeah, well, the maps are they are the same maps as the campaign or alternative version of the maps of the campaign. So this starting to give you an idea of what the campaign will be about. So the video that we have in the background is the city of Parnu. I hope it's pronounced like that. Sorry, there's a umlaut on the U. So yeah, the campaign will be in the Baltics, the Baltic states. These maps come from the Baltic states, or mostly. There are some little exceptions here and there. What we wanted for the game is this feeling of modern warfare, and modern warfare is fought heavily in urban places. So you see in the video in the background, it's like the entire map is filled with buildings, high rises and stuff. We wanted that feeling. Like it's not the Cold War anymore with tens of tanks advancing in formation in the Fulda Gap. This is over. This is not the modern war anymore. It's more about micromanaging a tank in the city to hide behind a building and get a few shots off. That's what it is about. So heavy urban maps. It can vary a bit from one to the other, but generally heavier urban maps is a central part of the game. With destruction of the buildings, like the buildings can be destroyed, but you continue to fight in the ruins. That's the core gameplay that we have here.
Okay.
Sorry, I see that my camera is super wide. Wow.
Okay.
Maybe a bit of light. Oh, I see myself.
Yeah, it's winter, so
Yeah, it's starting to be night here.
Yeah.
Right.
There are so many questions that we are missing so many. There was actually one about giving more, control powers to a host in a lobby, in the sense that someone was claiming that choosing faction when you are in the lobby phase is kind of a fight every time, and he was wondering, or they were wondering, if there will be an option for the host of that lobby to choose the faction that the guys are going to play or not.
Yeah, there's for the moment what we also wanted to to check the matchmaker as part of the beta. But there is an alternative way to launch a match, which is, I'd say, the more basic, classic way of you create a lobby, you have slots for your team and the enemy team, and the host is the king of the lobby. He has a crown, and he can decide everything and actually modify the characteristics of the match, like how many starting points, how many income, stuff like that. So, but this kind of lobby is not compatible with automatic matchmaking, because since you modify all the preferences of the match, you could only be matched with people having made the exact same choices, which is almost very, very hard to get. So in that case, the automatic matchmaker is not compatible with that. It's up to you to find people to join your lobby, and how many people will be willing to join will depend on the popularity of what you're proposing. But it's possible to do, and I'm pretty sure that people will come up with some proposition of situation of match settings that will be very popular. I don't know, tactical match with a very limited amount of money. You only get your starting units and nothing else, stuff like that. Like it's really up to the imagination of people at this point. So yeah, there will be custom, and it will be called custom lobbies. Like what you have in the beta, it's standard lobbies. So standard game mode, standard points, everything, and there will be custom lobbies where you can do a bit of everything you want.
All right. People keep mentioning the servers. Just wanted to mention it.
Yes.
No worries. We are working on the servers. We are aware that right now the situation is not ideal. There are still persisting server issues, but remember, guys, this is an open beta. When we announced the beta, we said that the reason why we were doing this beta was to stress test the servers and to make sure that all these issues when it comes to networking are tackled on as early as possible and not when we launch the game. So this is just to ensure that the game, when we launch it, it's an entirely smooth experience for everyone. So thank you again for your patience, guys. But yeah, please bear with us and we'll keep you posted about the servers. Felix, is there any kind of takeaway points or learning that you are able to get from the open beta so far? Anything that was really intriguing to you and that maybe you weren't expecting?
I take note that people are really, really eager to play.
Yeah.
For the moment, it's we are more learning on the technical part than the gameplay part because of that. But we had the closed beta earlier in November, December last year, which was close to this iteration. So mostly what you see here is like a reinforced version of the closed beta. We wanted to show that to a broader audience with expand also the stress testing, because we think that at release the game the situation will be even better, worse, depending on which side of the server you place yourself, with even more people trying to connect at the same time. So yeah, we wanted to make a larger test, and we'll probably make another one before the release with like even more people, stuff like that. So we're learning based on that. Like the play tests are made for that, to see what's working, what's not working, and fix what is not working and improve what is already working. So we'll continue with that. The beta is planned to be 2 weeks. So it's been 24 hours. It's been rough 24 hours, but we will fix that, and there will be plenty of time to test the game before the 16th of February. Don't worry.
Yeah, since we are mentioning it, and I just wanted to touch base with the community about this. For all those who are interested, we wanted to run a multiplayer challenge for anyone taking part in the open beta. But to be honest, maybe Felix, this is a good moment to discuss the opportunity of starting the leaderboard count only after we have sorted the server issues.
Yeah. Let's start that later. For the moment, we deal with the technical part. By the way, I see in the chat someone saying that he cannot join the playtest at the moment. I think new people cannot join the beta at the moment while we fix the problem. So there is already like the 60 and something thousand people who have access to it. We'll fix the problems. Once the problems are fixed, let new waves of people to come in, check that it's working correctly, rinse, repeat, basically.
Essentially, you can apply to it right now, but we will add you manually and approve you manually in the open beta once the server issues are fixed, rather than have more and more thousands of people get in the beta while we still have these server issues. It's just a way, to ensure that players get in a sort of orderly way, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
A lot of questions. I'm trying to read at the same time while I'm talking. Well, there are stuff like what.
Yeah. Would like to answer, Felix?
Well, I take those at the bottom. Sorry for those, but generally like ultra wide stuff. Yes, it's not very compatible with the UI. Is not fully compatible with ultra wide at the moment. We have some elements which are not attached to the correct part of the screen, but we'll work on that. There's concerning at the moment pure multiplayer. It's pure multiplayer, but the final game will contain PvE campaign scenario, stuff like that. We are not stress testing that because it's actually easier to make than the multiplayer. So there is no real need for testing for this part. That's why it's multiplayer only. Go back to work fixing the server. I'm not the one fixing the server, so it's useless for me to go away.
Are there any considerations for adding smaller inf style?
Will this game have multiplayer? Good joke.
Yeah, that was a rhetorical question. The crazy-eyed wolf is asking, are there any considerations for adding smaller INF, I guess it stands for infantry, style drone operators for scouting?
Yes, we have planned for that. We'll wait a bit because the problem of drones is that, it's brand new and even in real life, it's a brand new system like the micro drones. It's causing problems, and just like in reality, there are a lot of troubles dealing with drones. The same problem would apply in the game, and since it's a game, we don't want to create imbalance or frustrating mechanics where the enemy can always see and strike you even when you're well hidden, stuff like that. So it's tied like when there is in a game when there is a weapon, there must be a counter. For the moment we have a big anti-air system, for instance, so we would need extra counters to that. So it's planned, but it will take some time to arrive. We need to find the correct mechanics to both represent it as realistic as possible, but also maintain the balance of the game, make sure it remains playable with that.
I've seen a couple of guys asking about ships
Yeah.
in the game.
We have a few ships, but it's really not the focus of the game. Like ships, they are, like you see on the map in the background. It's like Panu is in at the at the end of a big bay. It's possible to place ships in the scenarios, but there are support elements to, well, either they are transport ships to bring units to the shore, or they are something like destroyers with anti-air, anti-artillery capability, like we have Arleigh destroyer, which has a 127 millimeter, so gun plus Tomahawk missile plus SM6 anti-air stuff, like plus Seawees. It's actually a lot of guns on this, and but we are not doing naval battle. I'm sure some people will try with the scenario editor. Like, it's something I'm curious to see. Like, but but for us, it's not the focus of the game. Uh, it's the scale of the battle between the sea battle and ground battle is really not the same. And yeah, for the moment, I would say it's better to have games specialized for naval battle. They do that very well. We'll see what we can do with that, but for the moment we use the ships as support element for the ground battle only, not ships fighting each other.
All right, thank you. I believe there's time for one last question.
One last question.
So how about Ghost Blackmore?
Choose carefully.
Hold on, let me see if I can go back. Well, they were asking if there are plans for heavy vehicles for getting stuck on rough terrain like forests and so on, like heavy trucks getting stuck there.
No, I consider that rather frustrating mechanics to have random stuff. Like I try to maintain a level of randomness in the game that is not frustrating. If simply going through a forest or a tree line can stop one of your main units from arriving in time to the battlefield, I think it's too much. It's bringing too much randomness to the gameplay. And I prefer to have the critical effect, like the tank being stuck, to be the result of player or enemy action and not randomness. So you can get your tank immobilized because the enemy has fired at you and you failed to drop smoke, or you failed to hide your tank behind cover and stuff like that. You have it's really the consequence of your actions and the enemy actions that result in this kind of situation.
All right. Well, I see that the chat appreciates RNG being on a minimum in the game, so yeah, I think they appreciate your choice there.
I'm trying to deal with my lamp, sorry, but
Okay,
yeah,
no
it's something with absolutely no randomness. It's not necessarily the good as well, but it's a matter of quantities. You see, like if everything is random, there is no good and bad player. If everything is perfectly can be perfectly calculated, there is no suspense of what's going to happen. But well, in this kind of game, there are many things happening at the same time. So even with a low amount of randomness, you will obtain very different results, simply because of player reaction time and positioning of units and stuff like that. Like the number of possibilities is already super high. There's no need to add a stronger random factor on top of that to obtain to enjoy the gameplay.
All right. So thank you, Felix. Is there anything final that you would like to say before we conclude?
Well, be patient for the servers. We're working on it. We'll find a solution, certain. And well, see you on the battlefield. I'm playing every time I can these days. Like I spend my day working, my evening playing, but no, working again because my job. So yeah, I'm playing every night. You can join us on the Discord server. We can try to team up together, do a match. It's nice to be in contact with the players and have large scale matches and etc. We love what we do, and yeah, we do what we love.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, that's a great attitude to have.
Yes. Thank you, Felix.
Thank you, Felix. See you soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We should have a round table of questions for Felix like once a day.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, you know, if Felix kept answering all the questions, he will never work on the game.
Yes.
That's our dilemma here.
Yeah. So let's keep let's keep Felix free and
He's off the book
focus
now.
on the game and yes. Okay. Oh, I think that I have just one last task before say goodbye. And it's the schedule of the week. So after the tea time, so right after us, you will see Kushan with Icebreakers. So it's the very first stream about it, I think so. Just to celebrate the release. Tomorrow you will have Yogdog, Das Tactic, and Richard York with Stargate, Master of Magic, and Starship Troopers. And you don't want to miss Das Tactic because he's going to play the new DLC Scourge of the Seas, which is a preview. Next week, so you will have on Monday Sergeant Z-Dog playing Flashpoint Campaigns Southern Storm. X-Strategy is playing Strategy Command, and Kushan again on Icebreakers. On Tuesday you will have, the Headquarters World War II with Exabu, first showing. And also, very important on Tuesday is Starship Troopers Terran Command Raising Hell New Challenges, because on February the 6th we are going to release the new 3 challenge missions for Starship Troopers, so don't miss Yogdog playing the first for the first time the challenge missions, and let's see what Yogdog what will be the Yogdog's score on those. I think that's all for today.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed, and
We did.
Yes, we did a lot, and see you next week, or maybe with Marco, not us.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who
Hopefully.
will be?
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
The attraction towards new experiences is powerful. Alienware gear isn't made to resist that pull. It's made to accelerate it, to transport you to new places where you can embrace difference and leave familiar behind, bringing you ever closer to the ultimate experience. See you on the other side.